Complex, an Osage High School production of The Music Man. I am Chase Potter, and I'm playing the role of Marcellus Washburn.
I am Kendall Olson, and I will be playing the role of Ethel Toffmeyer. Just a few things before we begin. Please turn off your cell phones or place them on airplane mode so the frequencies will not interfere with our wireless microphones. Any video recording is prohibited by the owners of this show. We have several items in the atrium for our silent auction, so please look over the fabulous items and place a bid. All proceeds go to cover the costs to put on this production. If you need to leave at any time during the show, please wait until the scene is over. We will have a 10-minute intermission after Act 1.
The Music Man is a beloved classic which has been performed numerous times on Broadway and is celebrating the 60th anniversary of the film adaptation. The story is set in the early 1900s in River City, Iowa. The narrative focuses on the traveling con man, Professor Harold Hill, and his idea to dupe the town into starting a kids' band. Will he be able to keep the local piano teacher, mayor, and the law off his trail? Will he leave town without a backward glance? Or will the people in River City show him that he ought to stick around and give Iowa a try? Thank you again for your support and attending our production.
Enjoy the show.
River City, next station stop. You're crazy with the heat. Credit's no good for a notion, salesman. Aboard, all aboard.
Why not? What's the matter with credit?
It's old-fashioned. Charlie, you're an anvil salesman. Your firm give credit?
No, sir.
Nor anybody else. River City next. Cash for the merchandise, cash for the button hooks,
Cash for the cotton goods. Cash for the hard goods.
cash for the soft goods, cash for the cotton goods.
Cash for the noggins and the pickins and the perkins.
Cash for the hogshead casket and Jimmy John. Cash for the crackers and the pickles and the flag.
Look, what do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
What do you get it?
What do you talk?
You can talk, you can talk, you can figure, you can talk. Bigger, talk, you can talk. You can talk, bigger. You can talk all you wanted, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't. But you gotta know the territory.
Why, it's Model T Ford, and the trouble made the people want to go, want to get up and go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 22, 23 miles to the county seat.
Yes, sir.
Who's gonna patronize a little bitty 2x4 kind of store anymore?
What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
Not the Model T at all. So you can enter at the store, at the Madrid store, at the present day store, at the present day Madrid departmentalized grocery store.
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
What do you get it? You can talk, you can figure, you can talk, you can figure, you can talk, bigger. You can talk all you wanted, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't. But you gotta know the territory.
You need to get the trouble. You need to put the crackers in the package of the package.
You need a biscuit and an airtight sanitary vacuum in the Cracker Barrel.
Obsolete.
Obsolete.
Cracker Barrel went out the window with the mail pouch cut plug charmed by the stove. Changed the approach of the traveling salesman. Made it pretty hard.
No, it didn't. But you gotta know the territory.
Gone with the hogshead, casket, demijohn. Gone with the sugar barrel, pickle barrel, milkman. Gone with the tub and the pail and the tears.
Ever meet a fellow by the name of Hill?
Hill. No.
Just a minute.
Never heard of any salesman, Hill.
Now he doesn't know the territory.
Doesn't know the territory. What's the fellow's line?
Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line.
Or the Cracker Barrel being obsolete, or the you need a biscuit and airtight sanitary package, or the Model T Ford.
Just a minute.
Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line.
Or doggone thing. He's just a bang beat bell ringing big hog great go neck and nothing rip roaring every time bullseye salesman. That's Professor Harold Hill.
Tell us, what's his line?
He's a fake and he doesn't know the territory.
Look, what do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
He's a music man.
He's a what?
He's a music man, and he sells clarinets to the kids in the town. He's a big trombone and the rat-a-tat drums and the big brass bass. The piccolo, the uniforms too, with the shiny gold braid on the coat and the big red stripe running.
Well, I don't know much about bands, but I do know you can't make a living selling big trombones. No, sir. Mandolin picks, perhaps, and here and there a Jew's heart.
No, the fella sells bands, boys' bands. I don't know how he does it, but he lives like a king, and he dallies and he gathers and he plucks and he shines. And when the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But he doesn't know the territory.
River City, we're across the state line into Iowa. River City, population 2,212. Secrets, illegal in this state. Ford.
All right. If you're all through, I'll tell you about Harold Hill.
You really know Harold Hill?
Never seen him a day in my life, but I do know this much. He's given every one of us a black eye. After he's worked the town over, the next salesman arrives to get automatically tarred, feathered, and rode out on the city limit rate. You think that's funny? Well, wait till it happens to you. Your hair never grows back.
But why should he get rode out on a rail?
Because in order to sell band instruments, instruction books, and uniforms, he has to guarantee to teach the kids to play.
Well,
And to form them kids into a band, with himself as the leader.
What's wrong with that?
He don't know one note from another. That's what's wrong with that. He can't tell a bass drum from a pipe organ. I'll catch up with that swindler two-bit thimble rigger, and when I do, I'll squeal on him so loud.
Wow, you're mad, Charlie. Sure like to be around and catch up with that fella.
Well, it won't be on Iowa. Not on this trip. Even the great Professor Harold Hill wouldn't try to sell them neckbone Hawkeyes out here.
But, gentlemen, you intrigue me. I think I'll have to give Iowa a try.
I don't believe I caught your name.
I don't believe I dropped it.
And nobody come to see me. Cousin Will never come. Aunt Bertha never come. Your Aunt Bertha's dead. She wouldn't have come anyway.
I expect you ought to see the man in charge of hiring rigs, who is late as usual.
Gregory! Marcellus?
You old son of a gun! What are you? Shh! Greg.
Professor Hill's the name.
Hi, Greg. What are you doing here?
I didn't know I was coming. Besides, how'd I know you would end up in a little tank town like this? You were a pretty big slicker when you were in business with me.
Too many close shaves the way you work. Besides, I got myself a nice, comfortable girl, Ethel Toffler, your boss's niece.
Gone legitimate, huh? Always knew you'd come to no good.
So what's the new pitch? Oh, you're not back in the band business. I heard you was in steam automobiles.
I was.
What happened?
Somebody actually invented it.
No!
So give me the lowdown, Remorse.
Oh, you'll never get in the band business with these stubborn Iowans, Greg. Besides, we got a real stuck-up music teacher here that'll expose you before you get your grip unpacked.
Male or female?
Music teacher? She's a librarian. Female.
Perfect. That is exactly what I wanted to hear. Do you see your pointer out?
I will. So how you gonna start the bench?
Oh, same old way. Keep that music teacher off balance. And then I'm gonna get your town out of the serious trouble it's in.
River City isn't in any serious trouble.
Well, then I have to create something. I have to create a desperate need for a boys' band, you remember? Now, what's new around here? What can I use?
Well, nothing except the billiards parlor just put in a new pool table.
Never had a pool table here before.
Just billiards.
That'll do. I'll see you later, Mars. Remember.
Music teacher.
Ah, you're Mr. Dunlop. Yep. Either you're closing your eyes to a situation you do not wish to acknowledge, or you are unaware of the caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of that pool table in your community. Well, you got trouble, my friend. Right here, I say trouble right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a billiard player, certainly mighty proud. I say I'm always mighty proud to say. I consider that the hours I spend with a cue in my hand are golden. Let me cultivate horses and a cool head and a keen eye. Did you ever take and try to give an ironclad lead to yourself in a three-rail billiard shot? And just as I say it takes brains, judgment, and maturity to score in a ball-blind game as in the head, boom, can take and shove a ball in a pocket. And that slump, the first big steps on the road to the depths of degradation. I say first, medicinal wine from a teaspoon, then beer from a bottle. And the next thing you know, your son is playing for money in a pitchback suit and listening to some big out-of-town Jasper tell him all about horse racing. Not a wholesome trot race, no, but a race where they sit down and ride on a horse. I'd like to see some stuck-up jockey boy sitting on Dan Hatch, make your blood boil, well, I should say. Now, folks, let me tell you. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets at the table. Pockets that mark the difference between a gentleman and a bum with a capital B in that rhymes with P and that stands for P. And all week long, your city will be frittering away. I say your young men will be frittering away their noontime, supper time, chore time too. Get the ball in the pocket, never mind. Dating line full and the screen door pass with a beefsteak counter. Never mind pumping any water till your parents are caught with a sister's empty on a Saturday night. That's trouble. Yes, you got lots and lots of trouble. I'm thinking of the kids in the Knickerbocker, Surfdale, young ones speaking in the pool. All winter after school, you got trouble. Folks, right here in River City. Trouble with a capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for P. Now I know all you folks are the right kind of parents. I'm gonna be perfectly frank. Would you like to know what kind of conversation goes on while they're loafing around that hall? They'll be trying out Bevo, trying out Cubes, trying out tailor-mades like cigarette fiends. They're bragging all about how they're gonna cover up the telltale prevalent sins. And one fine day, they leave the pool hall headed for the dance at the other. Libertine men and scarlet women and ragtime, shameless music. They'll drag your son, your daughter, the arms of a jungle, animal instinct, mass hysteria. Friends, the idle brain is the devil's playground trouble. Oh, yeah, trouble. Right here in River City. Right here in River City. With a capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. That stands for pool. We surely got trouble. We surely got trouble. Right here in River City. Right here. Gotta figure out a way to keep the young ones tomorrow after school. Our children gonna have. Mothers of River City, heed the warning before it is too late. Watch for the telltale sign of corruption. The minute your son leaves the house, does he rebuckle the knickerbockers below the knee? Is there a nicotine stain on his index finger? A dime novel hidden under a porn tree. She's starting to memorize jokes from Captain Billy's whiz-bang. There are certain words creeping into his conversation. Words like swell and social man. Well, if so, my friends, we got trouble. Oh, we got trouble. Right here in River City. Right here in River City. With a capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. That stands for pool. We surely got trouble. We surely got trouble. Right here in River City. Right here. Remember the Maine, Plymouth, Rock, and the Golden. Our children gonna have trouble. Oh, we got trouble. We're in terrible, terrible trouble. That game with the 15 number balls is the devil's cool. Oh, yes, we got trouble, trouble, trouble. Oh, yes, we got trouble. Here we got big, big trouble. With the team. Running right with me. That stands for pool. Right here, or
No.
didn't I meet you in?
No.
I will only be in town a short while.
Good.
Is that you, daughter?
Yes, Mama. Keep on, Amaryllis. I'll be there in a minute. Hello, Mama. Fine, dear. Now your exercises.
Yes, ma'am. I don't remember the library being open this 4th of July.
It was, Mama, all evening. Mama, a man with a suitcase has been following me all over town.
Oh? Who?
I never saw him before.
Did he say anything?
He tried.
Did you say anything?
Of course not, Mama. Now, don't dawdle, Amaryllis. So do la re ti mi a little slower, and please keep the fingers curved as high and as nice as you possibly can. Don't get faster, dear.
If you don't mind me saying so, it wouldn't have hurt you to find out what the gentleman wanted.
I know what the gentleman wanted.
What, dear?
You'll find it in Balzac.
Excuse me for living, but I've never read it.
Neither has anyone else in this town.
There you go again with that same old comment about the low mentality of River City people and taking it all too much to heart.
Now, Mama, as long as the Madison Public Library is entrusted to me for the purpose of improving River City's cultural level, I can't help my concern that the ladies of River City keep ignoring all my counsel and advice.
Now, darling, when a woman's got a husband and you've got none, why should she take advice from you? Even if you could pull balls like in Shakespeare and all the other high-floating Greeks.
Now, Mama, if you don't mind me saying so, you have a bad habit of changing every subject.
No, I haven't changed the subject. I was talking about the stranger.
What stranger?
With the suitcase of maybe your very last chance.
Now, Mama, do you think that I allow a common masher? No, really, Mama, I have my standards where men are concerned, and I have no intention.
I know all about your standards, and if you don't mind me saying so, there's not a man alive who can hope to measure up to that blend of fighting sin. Try to know what Webster you can content for yourself. With your Irish imagination, you're a stubborn in a library full of books.
Well, if that isn't the best I've ever heard.
Thank you. Can I have a drink, please?
May I have a...
May I have a drink, please?
Yes, dear.
Winthrop, it's after dark. Is that a way to walk into this house? Hello. That won't do at all. I'll have a kiss from you, boy. That lady over there is your sister, young man. Hello, Winthrop. Oh, Winthrop, where are your manners?
I'm having a party on Saturday. Will you please come? I would especially like it very much if you'd come, Winthrop.
Well, Winthrop, Amaryllis asked you to her party. Are you going or aren't you?
No.
No what?
No, thank you.
You know the little girl's name.
He won't say Amaryllis because of the S, because of his lisp. He's ashamed.
We know all about his lisp, Amaryllis. Well, Winthrop?
I'll bet he won't say it.
No, thank you, Amaryllis.
Amaryllis!
not just because he lisps, Amaryllis. That's just a part of it.
What's the other part?
Never mind, dear. It's just, he never talks very much.
Not even to you and your mother?
No, dear. We all have to be a little patient.
I'm patient, even though he doesn't ever talk to me. But I do him. Every night, I say goodnight to him on the evening star. And you have to do it the very second you see it, too, or it doesn't count. Good night, my Winthrop. Good night. Sleep tight.
Oh, there, darling, don't cry. You have plenty of time. If not Winthrop, there will be someone else.
Never. I'll end up like an old maid like you. I'm sorry, Miss Marion. Can I play my cross-eyed
May
piece?
I play?
May I play my cross-eyed piece?
You may.
See, without a sweetheart, you have no one to say goodnight to on the evening star.
I know, Amaryllis, but for the time being, just say goodnight, my someone. You can put the name in when the right someone comes along.
All right. It's better than nothing.
Yes, it is. Now you can play your crossing piece.
Now I may play my cross-eyed piece.
Good night, my someone. Good night, my love. Sleep tight, my someone. Sleep tight, my love. Our star is shining, its brightest light. For good night, my love. For good night. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be. Sweet dreams to carry you close to me. I wish they may and I wish they might. For good night, my someone, good night. True love can be whispered from heart to heart. When lovers are parted, they say. But I must depend on a wish and a star, as long as my heart doesn't know who you are. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be. Sweet dreams to carry you close to me. I wish they may and I wish they might. For good night, my someone, good night. Good night. Good night.
Is it done?
My brothers, my tyranny tremble, when borne by the red, white, and blue. When borne by the red, white, and blue. When borne by the red, white, and blue. My brothers, my tyranny tremble. When born by the red, white, and blue.
I'm sure we are all grateful to my wife, Eulalie McKechnie, for leading the singing, and to J.C. Squires for his fine stereotypically slides, and to Ethel Toffelmeyer, our fine player piano. As mayor of River City, I welcome you, River citizens, to the 4th of July exercises set up in Madison Gymnasium. Account for the weather. Four score. The members of the school board will now present a patriotic tableau. The members of the school board will not present a patriotic tableau. Some disagreement about costumes, I suppose. Instead, the 4-H girls of the local chapter will now present a spectacle, My Wife, in which my wife, Eulalie McKechnie Shin, will take the leading part.
We will now recite the 4-H pledge. I pledge my head for clear thinking, my heart for greater loyalty, my hands for better service, my health for better living, for my club, my community, my country, and my world.
Who set off that crack?
I know who did it. Tommy Gilas did it. Tommy Gilas did it.
Yeah, it was Tommy Gilas.
Tommy G. I won't make as you.
Mrs. Shin will recover. No thanks to a certain young ruffian who's a disgrace to our city. 4 The Payne's fireworks spectacle, last days of Pompey I, will be held in Madison Picnic Park, providing the rain stops by 9:30. It'll be held in the far meadow across the creek from the pest house.
How can it be raining? Didn't the Gazette predict fair?
Sure did, Ewan. That's why we opened trade for a storm.
The Gazette's accurate most of the time, JC. You know it.
You won't make it too far in the banking business, being accurate most of the time.
Now, just a minute. Let's have order here. Order.
Number 8's late again.
I'd make it early.
She's late, all right.
She's late on time. What's the matter with you?
What are you talking about?
Now, will you members of the school board stop bickering in public?
All in the world, I was saying.
Never mind. 4.
We heard there's a pool table in town.
Now, just a minute.
Is it a pool table or isn't it?
Will you allow me to get on with the exercises?
We don't want any more exercises till we get this pool table matter settled.
Let's protect our children.
Yeah!
Resist sin and corruption. And smite that devil and keep our young boys pure. Friends, may I have your attention, please? Attention, please. I can deal with this trouble, friends, with a wave of my hand, this very hand. Please observe me, if you will. Professor Harold Hill, and I'm here to organize the River City Boys Band. Oh, think, my friends, how can any pool table ever compete with a gold trombone? Remember, my friends, what trumpet players did? The famous fabled walls of Jericho. Oh, billiard parlor walls come tumbling down. Well, a band will do it, my friends. I mean a boys band. Do you hear me? Well, River City's gonna have a boys band, and I mean she needs it today. Well, Professor Harold Hill's on hand, and River City's gonna have a boys band. Sure as the Lord made little green apples, and that band's gonna be beautiful. Johnny, Willie, Teddy, Fred, you'll hear the crashing of glittering cymbals, the thundering of drums, the shimmering of trumpets. Dun-da-ra. And you'll feel something akin to the electric thrill I once enjoyed when Gilmore, Liberati, Pat Conway, the great creator, W.C. Handy, and John Philip Sousa all came to town on the very same historic day. 76 trombones hit the ring. with 110 cornets close at hand. They were followed by rows and rows of the finest virtuosos, the cream of every famous band. 76 trombones in the morning sun, with 110 cornets right behind. There were more than 1,000 reeds breaking up like weeds. There were horns of every shape and kind. There were copper-bottomed timpani and horse platoons, thundering, thundering all along the way. Double-bell euphoniums and big bassoons, each bassoon having his big fat say. There were 50 mounted cannon in the battery, thundering, thundering louder than before. Clarinets of every size and trumpeters who'd improvise a full octave higher than the score.
so excited since the night Frank Gotch and Stringer Lewis lay on the mat for 3.5 hours without moving a muscle. Never mind, I want his credentials. Grab that hoodlum. He almost blew up Mrs. Shin.
Jeez, Jilly Clyde, let me go!
Thank you, Professor. Now to make an example of him. Ringleader. What he does, the gang does.
Wild kid, ya. Hanging around my oldest girl. His father is one of them day laborers south of town, tagging down Main Street after my oldest girl last Sunday.
We wasn't either tagging.
Don't you contradict me.
We's just walking together, Jilly Clyde.
I know what she's doing. My little Gracie Senior. Now stay away from my daughter, or you'll hear from me till who laid the rails. Hill, I'll talk to you Monday about this band thing over at City Hall. 10 o'clock, sharp. Never mind, I want his credentials.
Constable, I'll be in charge of the boy.
You don't know this kid. He's tough. He's got his gang waiting outside.
Oh, I'll be careful. Tommy, I'd like to talk to you about the band.
Aw, gee, Professor, ain't that for the little kids?
Oh, I'm not talking about you playing in the band. You're mechanically minded, aren't you? Ever do anything with perpetual motion?
Nearly had it a couple times.
You did? You're my man. Do you realize nobody has ever invented a marching pickle player? No place to hang the music.
Jilly Clyde, I wonder where I could get some wire.
Check your cellar, that's where people keep wire. Oh, Tommy.
Yes, sir?
I'm constable. I'll show you how to break up a gang. Oh, young lady. Oh, miss. What is your name?
Zanita, I didn't know you was beckoning to me. You got.
Do you know Tommy Julius?
Well,
Tommy, this is Zanita. I want you to escort the young lady home.
all expecting I'm not going home. I have to go to the library. You got.
Well, then escort the young lady by way of the library. By way of the Katie kitchen.
Yes, sir. Do I have to?
You have to.
Yes, sir.
You got.
You're pretty bright on Philip, Professor. Made a couple mistakes, though.
Oh?
The mayor happens on fair part in the fruit sale in town.
Well, what was my other mistake?
That's Anita. That's the mayor's oldest girl.
Just a minute, Professor Hill. We'd like to have her credentials. We're the school board.
Academic certificates.
Nothing of that kind. We need letters and papers.
Make it put of a bomb.
What am I hearing? You, sir, say ice cream.
Ice cream, but I don't sing, young man.
All right, talk then. Down here,
Ice cream.
talk slow.
Ice cream.
Singing is only sustained talking. Now you.
Ice cream.
Now you right here. Now you, sir. Ladies, from now on, you will never see one of those men without the other three.
Why, Professor, you're wrong. They've hated each other for 15 years.
Ice cream. Ice cream. Ice cream. How can there be any sin and sincere? Where is the good in goodbye, in goodbye? have some wonderful caramels over there.
Mr. Hill.
Professor Hill.
Professor of what? At what cause do they give a degree for annoying women on the street like a Saturday night rowdy at a public dance hall?
Oh, I wouldn't know about that. I'm a conservatory man myself. Gary, Indiana, gold medal class of Hot 5.
Even should that be true, does that give you the right to follow me around all over town? And another thing, Mr. Hill, I'm not as easily mesmerized or hoodwinked as some people in this town. I think it's only fair to warn you that I have a shelf full of reference books in there that may very well give me some interesting information about you.
Hey, Gregory.
Hey, Marcellus. Don't call me Greg.
How'd you make out with the music teacher?
Scrumptious. She ate out of my hand the minute I tipped my hat.
You did? Boy, did you cut a swap tonight. For a second there, I even thought you knew something about leading a band. Like when you used to imitate that band fella back in Joplin.
Oh, that's kid stuff. I'm in rare form these days, son. Just you keep your eyes on me for the next 4 weeks.
4 weeks? It only used to take 10 days for the instruments to arrive.
Well, it still does, but it takes 4 weeks for the uniforms.
You haven't added uniforms.
Uniforms and instruction.
Instruction books? But Greg, you can't pass yourself off as a music professor. Not for any 4 weeks.
Mars.
But you don't know one note from another.
I have a revolutionary new method called a think system where you don't bother with notes.
But in 4 weeks, the people are going to want to hear music. You'll have to lead the band.
Yeah, but once the uniforms arrive, they forget about everything else. At least long enough for me to collect and leave. Oh, this is a refined operation, son, and I've got it timed down to the last wave of the brakeman's hand. I'm the last train out of town. Now, Mr. Washburn, if you'll excuse me.
Gonna line yourself up a little canoodling, huh?
Well, if you must.
Say, I could fix you up with Ethel's sister. Lovely gal, teaches Sunday school.
No wide-eyed, wholesome, innocent Sunday school teacher for me. That kind of girl spins webs. No spider ever. Listen, boy. A girl who trades on all that purity merely wants to trade my independence for her security. Only a primitive she will file. First in marching down the aisle. No golden, glorious, gleaming, pristine goddess. No, sir. For know what I do. I play fawn. I can tell you that right now. I snarl, I hiss. How can ignorance be compared to bliss? I spark, I fizz for the lady who knows what time it is. I cheat, I rave for the virtue I'm too late to save. The sadder but wiser girl for me. No bright-eyed, blushing, breathless baby doll baby. No, sir, that kind of child ties knots. No sinner ever knew. I prefer to take a chance on a more adult romance. No dewy young miss who keeps resisting all the time. She keeps insisting. No wide-eyed, wholesome, innocent female. No, sir, why she's the fisherman, I'm the fish you see. Why? I flinch, I shy when the lass with the delicate air goes by. I smile, I grin when the gal with a touch of sin walks in. I hope, I pray for Hester to win just one more day. The sadder but wiser girl is the girl for me. The sadder but wiser girl for me.
Simply agog. On the K, Vive. Everyone's so excited about the band. I'm Ethel Tofferbaum, the Vanilla Girl.
And this is Mrs. Squires and Mrs. Hicks. And of course you've met Eulalie McKechnie Shin, our mayor's wife. Oh, isn't this just exciting, Eulalie?
Oh, I could not say. I could not say. I could not say at this time. And my husband will wish to investigate, I'm sure. And naturally, I'm reticent. Oh, I'm reticent.
Why, of course, Mrs. Shin, I understand. But you see, part of my musical plan. Do that again, Mrs. Shin. Your foot, the way you raised it just now.
Oh, well, I have a bunion there that...
What grace! What natural flow of rhythm! What expression of line and movement!
Mr. Hill!
You must accept the chairmanship for the ladies' classical dance. Mustn't you, ladies?
Oh, yes. You must do, Laylee.
Every move you make, Mrs. Shin, the speaks does so. Will you say yes, Mrs. Shin?
Eulalie McKechnie Shin. Oh, well, dancing, that is.
Then you accept?
Yes, and
Thank you. Now, the young lady plays piano. Marian Prue, I believe. After all, she is the librarian.
Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 cheep.
Doesn't belong on any committee. Of course, I shouldn't tell you this, but she advocates sturdy books.
Dirty books.
Chaucer, Rabelais, Balzac, cheep, 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 cheep,
And the worst thing, of course, I shouldn't tell you this, but
I'll tell. The mayor only put an ice cream, let me tell.
stop.
I'll tell. She made brazen overtures to a man who'd never had a friend in this town. Till she came here. Old Miser Madison.
Miser Madison. Madison Gymnasium. Madison Picnic Park. See, there's Madison Hospital. That Miser Madison.
Exactly. Who'd he think he was anyway?
Well, I should say. Big show-off. Gave the town the library too, didn't he?
That's just it. When he died, he left the library bill into the city.
But he left all the books to her.
She was seen going and coming from his place.
Oh yes, that woman made brazen overtures with a gilt-edged guarantee. She had a golden glint in her eye and a silver counterfeit ring. To smell her down in your reveal, a lump of lead is cold as steel. Here, where a woman's heart should be. He left River City, the library building, but he left all the books to her. Chaucer, Rabelais, Balzac, cheep, 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 cheep.
Just a minute, Professor. We need your credentials.
Cheep, cheep, cheep,
Why was the floor still over my hotel? Come with me. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. We're going to leave you now. Farewell, ladies. Farewell, ladies. Farewell, ladies.
Mom, Dad says to talk.
It's all right. I know everything, and it doesn't make any difference.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you were probably very young. Anybody can make a mistake.
What?
Well, apologies, no explanations. I'll only be in town a short while, and a sadder but wiser girl.
Will you please with your selection and leave?
I have.
Well, what do you want to take out?
The librarian.
Quiet, please.
The librarian. You're not listening, Mary. Look. Marian. Marbles. 6 Steelies, 8 Aggies, a dozen Pee-wees, and 1 big lassie with an American flag in the middle. I think I'll drop them.
No!
Madam Librarian. What can I do, my dear, to make it clear? I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marian, heaven help us if the library caught on fire and the volunteer hose brigade men had no whisper the news to Marian. Madam Librarian. say, my dear, to catch your ear. I need you badly, badly, Madam Librarian. Marian, if I stumbled and I busted my whatchamacallit, I could lie on your floor unnoticed till my body had turned to carrion. Madam Librarian. Every word of his song, the moonlight, helping along. But when I try in here to tell you, dear, I need you badly, badly, Madam Librarian. Marian, it's a long lost cause. I can never win, for the civilized world accepts as some people will see. And he's talking out loud with such is Marian, Madam Librarian. But you badly, badly, Madam Librarian, Marian, it's a long lost cause. I can never win, for the civilized world accepts myself bubble scene, and me talking out loud with men librarian, such as Marian, Madam Librarian. Next, pretty good Tuesday nights in high school. Marshmallow. Tommy, it's been a pretty good morning. 11 sales out of 12 tries. Tell you what, it's almost noon. Why don't you get home and get some dinner? I'll try a few by myself. Thank you, Professor. Good night. See you, Tommy.
Just a minute here. Are you soliciting?
Mr. Shin, I was just...
Flattery will not avail you. Soliciting is statutory in this county, malfeasance without a permit. And why haven't you been down to City Hall with your references?
I just missed you. Mr. Shin, your hand!
What?
The spread of your little finger, it's hereditary.
Oh, is it? What does that mean?
It means that your son's little finger is perfectly situated to operate the spit valve on a B-flat flugel horn.
Is that good?
Good. It means that at last, America has produced an artist who can flugel the minute waltz in 50 seconds.
Mr. Hill, how do I get one of those horns?
Sign here, Mr. Shin.
Oh, good. Just to think I could have missed this whole... Wait a minute. I haven't got a son. You unscrupulous who by night. You unscrupulous. You be down at City Hall with your by God papers at 3 o'clock.
You mean this afternoon?
I couldn't make myself any plainer if I was a Quaker on his day off.
Do you realize you have the facial characteristics of a cornet virtuoso?
I don't think I understand you entirely, Professor.
If your boy has that same firm chin and those splendid jaw muscles, by George. Not that you'd have to be really great to understand, but...
Oh, and in the name of Saint Bridget, why not?
Well, you see, all the great cornet players were Irish. Clark, Mendes.
But, Professor, we are Irish.
No, really, that seals it. Sign here, Mrs. Peru. Your boy was born to play the cornet. Fine. That'll be $7. Thank you. And of course, I'll need the boy's measurements for his uniform.
His uniform?
Why, certainly his uniform. And not a penny due until band practice, which gives him 4 weeks to enjoy, to anticipate, and to imagine at no cost whatever. Never let the demands of tomorrow interfere with the excitement and pleasures of today.
Would it have,
A stripe? Why, certainly, my boy, a wide stripe on either leg. What do you think of that?
You'll have to excuse Winthrop, Professor. We can't get him say 3 words a day, even to us. And if you can get him into the band, you'll have St. Michael's own way with you. But if anybody can do it, I'll bet you can. Out of a crowd, I'll pick you for hod-carrying, clay-pipe-smoking, shamrock-wearing, navarine pinching, tar-hole minstrel singing Irishman.
We call them beach jabbers. Where are you from, me boy?
Gary, Indiana.
I knew it. Where did you say?
Gary, Indiana. In fact, Gary Conservatory was my alma mater.
Was she?
Gold medal class of 5. How to do, Miss Peru?
How did you, Mr. Hill?
Peru, I thought the name sounded familiar. Well, I've been trying to see you since the other
He
night.
wants to put Winthrop in the band.
We're not interested, Mama.
But Marion, the boy might have his father's musical gifts. He does have me, I know.
Ooh, your husband musical? I'd like to have a talk with him.
Do you pry into everyone's homes like this? Prying into personal affairs? We're not interested.
Marion.
Well, that's 1 for and 1 against. Why not let the boy's father decide?
The boy's father is dead. Anything else?
Oh, I'm sorry. But that's all the reason why your brother should have...
My brother is a 10-year-old problem child who doesn't understand why his father was taken away. Do you care to explain it to him? He's been brooding about it for 2 years now. And as to your musical tricks, why don't you go into business with some nice carnival man who sells gold-painted watches and glass diamond rings?
Musical tricks, I hardly... I get the feeling she likes the idea. Oh, a little cautious perhaps, but I admire that in a woman. Just keep me alive for, I'll be back later in the week.
One moment, Professor. About the boy's measurements. I make all his clothes. Sleeve 21, waist 18, and crotch 14.
That's all I need. I must really get back to the hotel.
I do hope you'll excuse Marion. She's not...
Oh, it's all right. I'm sure that at heart she's as lovely as yourself. Good day to you, widow Peru.
Has he gone?
He has. And I hope not forever. Darling, don't you ever think your future? Gary, Indiana, conservation class of odd 5?
Now, Mama, surely a girl's future does not depend on encouraging every fast-talking, self-centered, woman-chasing man who comes to town. And the fact that he claims his commodity is music does not, in this particular case, impress me.
All right, darling, all right. Although it is a well-known principle that if you keep the flint in one drawer and the steel in another, you'll never strike much of a fire.
Mama! Winthrop, I know you're out there. Winthrop, will you please go to the library and ask Miss Scrub for the book I set aside? It's the Indiana State Educational Journal, 1890 to 1910. It's a large bound volume with black corners.
Do I have to?
You won't have to talk to anyone. I've written it all down. Thank you, dear.
Now, what are you up to? Why do you need books at this hour of the night?
I think that Indiana Journal will help me poke some large holes in the professor's claims.
Well, I give up. At your age, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of white knight do you expect to come riding along?
Well, I'm not waiting for Luther Griner to back me up into the ancient history shelves every time he comes into the library.
He does?
Or Ed Gamage in that buggy of his with a removable back seat. But I'm not waiting for a man in white shining armor either. My white knight, not a Lancelot, nor an angel with wings, just someone to love me, who is not ashamed of being nice things. My white knight, what my heart would say if it only knew
me after supper.
I can't. It's Edward's late night. Meet you where?
The footbridge.
You see? Isn't that just what I said? First it was the lumber yard, and now it's the footbridge. Where to next? The Black Hole Calcutta? Ye gods!
I only wanted to show you my invention.
What invention?
My music holder for a marching piccolo player. You see, it still has a couple of minor flaws. When you tighten it enough to hold the music straight, you cannot wiggle your fingers. Meanwhile, you could go blind.
Tommy, Papa!
Yes, is that the first thing I said or not?
Yes, George.
Yes, the very first thing, or I'll eat hay with the horses. Get that spellbinder's credentials, morning of July 4th, 1912. And now my wife is off dancing at any and all hours instead of being in the home.
What, George?
My oldest girl is boodling around with some wild kid. The school board singing upstream, down alley, instead of attending to city matters. And my business has fallen so far, I can't find the balance sheet.
Mr. Mayor, I found something very interesting in this book about Professor Hill's alma mater.
Is who?
His university.
Oh, I know all about that. In fact, that's the only thing I could ever get out of him. Gary Conservatory, class of '05.
Well, if you'll just take some time to read a little bit about the conservatory, you won't have time.
Papa, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming up from the depot.
Wells Fargo wagon? A likely story at this hour day. Nonsense. Wells Fargo wagon.
The band instruments.
The band instruments?
The Wells Fargo wagon is up, coming down the street, but please let it be for me. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is up, coming down the street. I wish I knew what it could be.
I got a box of maple sugar on my
Montgomery Ward sent me a bathtub and a crossword
Oh,
song.
the Wells Fargo wagon is up, coming down the street. A great surprise, oh COD. Or dishes.
Or it could be
Yes, you're right, it surely could be.
something special.
Something very, very special now.
Just for me.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is up, coming down the street. Don't let it pass my door. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is up, coming down the street. I wish I knew what he was coming for. I got some salmon from Seattle last September.
And I expect a new rocking chair.
The DAR have sent a cannon for the courthouse square.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is a coming up. I don't know how I can never wait to leave. It could be something for someone who has no reason, or it could be something special just for me.
Here you are, Winthrop.
My cornet, these thanks, Professor.
Kids, each receive instruction in due course. For now, stay off the streets, get acquainted with your instruments. Think of the minuet in G. La da 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 la da da la da da.
Sister, isn't the most something solid gold thing you've ever seen? Never thought I'd seen something as strong as a solid gold thing. Oh, sister!
Round one for you, Mr. Hill, but I better hear some by God tune out of those horns in pretty short order, or else I'll see you in front of the grand jury over at the county seat.
Come, George. Tempus Frugus.
You watch your phraseology. Get along if you want to. I have to get something from the librarian. Now, Miss Marion, about that book.
The dance Dance Committee meets Tuesday nights at the high school.
Lovelies, ladies, lovely. Now turn. Take the body with you. Lovely. Now let's have a go at our Grecian urns. 1 Grecian urn. 2 Grecian urns. And a fountain. Trickle. 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 Lovely ladies. I predict that our Del Start display will be the highlight of the ice cream sociable. Now, gentlemen, if you're ready, and ladies, don't make me say this again. Always keep your face to the audience. Now, Mr. Dunlop, if you're ready.
It's you if the sun rises, you in my cup.
It's you all the way into town.
It's your sweet hello, dear, that sets me off. It's your got to go, dear, that gets me down. With you on my pillow, in all of my dreams, who once for the morning breaks what words could be saner, or truer, or plainer than it's you? It's you. Yes, it's you. Oh, yes, it's you.
Get behind my head.
We are entitled to 5 more minutes, Mr. Washburn.
If you think you can hold these kids back, go ahead.
Start her up, Mr. Washburn. Wait till you see the new moves the professor taught us.
All right, what'll it be?
The shapoopy.
Now, a woman who'll kiss on the very first date is usually a hussy. And a woman who'll kiss on the second time out is anything but fussy. But a woman who'll wait till the 3rd time around, head in the clouds, feet on the ground. She's the girl he's glad he's found. She's his shapoopy. Shapoopy, shapoopy, shapoopy. The girl who's hard to get. Shapoopy, shapoopy, shapoopy. But you can't win her yet. Walk her once to raise the curtain. Walk around twice and you make for certain. Once more in the flower garden, she'll never get sore if you beg her pardon. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, si, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Squeeze her once when she isn't looking. Get a squeeze back, that's fancy cooking. Once more for a pep rubber, she'll never get sore on the way to supper. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, si, do. Now little soul is no gal, as anyone can see. But look at her now, she's a go-gal who only goes for me. Squeeze her once when she isn't looking. Get a squeeze back, that's fancy cooking. Once more for a pep rubber, she'll never get sore on her way to supper. So la si do, shapoopy, shapoopy, shapoopy. The girl who's hard to get. Shapoopy, shapoopy, shapoopy. But you can't win her yet.
my daughter.
Papa!
Mission, Your Honor, me and your daughter are going steady behind your back.
Why you?
Well, we'd rather do it in front of your back. We just didn't tell you because...
What? Never mind.
Anita's scared of ya, but I'm not. I'd sure hate to think you'd have your own daughter scared of ya.
I'm going to warn you once. If I ever see you touching my daughter, I will, by God, horsewhip you till hell will have it again.
Now, George.
Not one poop out of you, madam.
I think he means Pete.
And now for you, get out of this public building.
I got as much right in this public building as anybody else.
Right? Where do you get any right around here? Aiding and abetting that symbol salesman in swindling activities? You know what I see written on all of you? Reform school! Now get out of here, you wild kid! Get out of here!
Oh, please! It's cowards like you that make blood in the marketplace, you gods!
You watch your phraseology, young lady. Go home! Laylee, you tend to your dance.
My dance?
I'll handle Sunita talking up with wild kids from the wrong side of town.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just make you understand.
Well, you can. And by the way, thanks for nothing. I've read that book you gave me from cover to cover for a whole week, and I didn't find a thing.
Mr. Mayor, if you...
Oh, I'll settle your hash as soon as I get these premises off my oldest girl. Yes.
All right, but in the meantime, I want you to know that I am vouching for Tommy Giles. That boy has the confidence of every kid in this town. You'll be waiting to shake his hand by the time our band plays their first concert.
By the time your band plays its first concert, the individual members will have foregathered in wheelchairs on account of broken legs they'll get from tripping over their beards. And let me tell you something, my fine young feathered, oh, never mind! Oliver, JCE, where I'll win, get this man's credentials and get them tonight. Don't let him out of your sight. He's slipperier than a Mississippi sturgeon.
Do you mean you want us to begin?
Get his papers or get him in jail. I couldn't make myself any clearer if I was a butt hook in the well water.
Professor Hill, I think Mayor Shin has acted abominably, and I think it was wonderful of you coming to Tommy's defense.
Oh, that was nothing.
Yes, it was.
Oh, no, a man can't dodge the issue every time a little personal risk is involved. What does the poet say? The coward dies 1,000 deaths, the brave man only 500. Although the mayor was already pretty upset about his billiard parlor, and I suppose a musical authority like yourself would help, but I couldn't think of asking you to do a thing like that.
Why, Professor?
Lord?
I'd be glad to. I just wish I was a little bit more informed. I mean to ask you about Winthrop's cornet.
Cornet? Mother of pearl keys?
Yes. You see, he never touches it. Oh, the first week or so, he made a few, experimental lats, I guess you'd say.
Yes, lats.
And he sings the
La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da, la-di-da, la-di-da.
the minuet in G almost constantly.
Yes, well,
But he never touches the cornet.
well, you see.
He tells me you told him it wasn't necessary.
Well,
He told me about some think system. If he thinks the minuet in G, he won't have to bother with the notes. Now, Professor.
Miss Marion, the think system is a revolutionary method, I'll admit. So is Galileo's conception of the heavens, Columbus' conception of the egg, globe, Bach's conception of the well-tempered clavichord. I cannot discuss these things with you here in public, but if you'll allow me to call, when may I call?
Why, any night this week.
Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, chip, 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 talk a lot, pick a little, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, chip, 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 talk a lot, pick a little. You were so dear last night dancing the shabuki with Professor Hill. Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, chip, chip, chip. You danced like a fairy princess with a moonbeam for her floor. You had gold and shimmer in your hair and silver shoes for all to see. We know that you will soon unfold a forgiving heart of dearest gold. Here, where a woman's heart should be. Fairy princess, moonbeam floor, golden shimmer,
Sorry, Professor, but we got our orders.
We've all been deputized.
Yes, congratulations. See, I've been trying to get you fellows my references and credentials for quite a while now, but you always seem to get off topic somehow. They're over at my hotel. It'll take me a second.
Sorry, afraid I'll have to go along with you.
Yes, well, let's see if I have my key. What is this? A testimonial from Madame Rainey, the only female bassoonist to ever appear on the Red Path circuit. Her stage name, of course. Actually, she was from Moline, Lida Rose Quackenbush. Could I see that for a minute? Oh, you'll never forget the name. Lida Rose. Same as the old song. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose, to get the sun back in the sky. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose, about 1,000 kisses shy. Ding dong ding, I can hear the chapel bell chime. Ding dong ding, at the least suggestion, I'll pop the question. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Lida Rose, now everyone knows that I am hoping you're the same. So here is my love song, not fancy or fun. Lida Rose, oh, won't you be mine? Lida Rose, oh, Lida Rose, oh, Lida Rose.
Dream of now, dream of then, dream of a love song as great as this. I love you, oh yes I love you, and I'll bravely tell you, but only when we dream again. Sweet and low, sweet and low, how sweet that melody, how long ago, forever, oh yes, forever, will I ever tell you, I know.
Lida Rose, oh, Lida Rose, oh. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose, to get the sun back in
Dream
the
of
sky.
dream
Lida
of
Rose,
a
I'm home
love
again, Rose,
song
about 1,000 kisses shy. Ding dong ding, I can hear the chapel bell chime. Ding dong ding, at the least suggestion, I'll pop the question. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose,
Sweet and low, how sweet that melody, how long ago, forever, oh yes, forever, will I ever
Will you ever stop arguing with yourself? Will you ever tell him? Won't you ever tell him? Ah, yes, I know. Ah, fiddlesticks. Just open your mouth and let it come out.
Now, Mama.
Now, nothing. If he ever comes to call and you see him alone and you haven't the gumption to tell him how you feel,
Tell her.
it wouldn't hurt to have a little ladylike hint. Mama! Winthrop, where have you been?
Fishing?
Fishing?
With Harold.
Did you meet Professor Hill?
Mm-hmm. And look, I still have some worms left.
Did you have a good time?
Synopsis. He told me all his while in his hometown here in Indiana. And he saw me at the bear
I'll be back in a minute. I have to go so Amarillo my live frog. La-di-da-di-da-di-da, la-di-da.
Leave the dishes, I'll do them, Mama.
Don't you have to change for the sociable?
There's time later.
Shins live around here.
The Shin home is on East Elm. This is West Elm.
Oh, crap. I see you're the piano teacher in town. You must know all about this fella Hill forming a band.
Yes.
Well, don't let it worry you no more. I got the goods on Haiti, spades, swindling two-bit thimble rigger. That's why I gotta see Shin. Oh, I'm just passing through though. Number 8 only makes a 15-minute water stop. Wish was 20. Would like to concentrate 5 minutes on you, girly girl.
Who are you?
Name's Charlie Cowell, Anvil salesman. But just now, I'm out to protect the good name of the traveling fraternity from this swindler.
Mr. Cowell, you're making a big mistake.
Mistake's my old lady's corset cover. This fella's been a raspberry suit of my wisdom tooth just long enough. He spoiled Illinois for me. He's not going to spoil Iowa. Said, what kind of music teacher are you? You didn't see through his deception? He's no more professor.
I know all about that. Band leaders are always called professor. It's a harmless deception. He's a fine
Now,
director.
wait a minute. Fine director? Have you heard one note of music from any band?
No, but
But nothing, girly girl. He never formed a band in his life, and he never will.
if you'll just listen to me for a minute.
I'd like to. I'd like to do a lot more than that. I've really got the inclination. But I gotta get back on that train and leave this dynamite with someone at the depot. See you next time through, girly girl.
You'll never make the train at the depot. You'll have to catch it at the crossing.
No, sir, I gotta leave word, and I see you ain't the one to leave it with.
Just a minute, Mr. Cowell. You don't know me yet.
Is that an invitation?
No. What I mean is, I don't know you, and
Yes, I need more time anyway.
I mean, as much as I'd like to.
No trouble there, girly girl.
I've never met a man who sells anvils before. That's something, well, quite different.
Takes a real salesman, I can tell you that. Anvils have a limited appeal, you know. What am I doing? I'll miss my train. I'll get fired. I gotta leave word about that fella Hill.
Leave word with me.
Not on your tin tight. I don't.
Try me. There's your train now. Run for it.
Why are you double dealing? Do you know who you're protecting? That guy's got a girl in every county from here to Illinois, and that's 102 counties. Not counting the piano teachers like you he coaches up to keep their mouths shut. Neither one of you's heard the last of me, girly girl.
Light a rose, I'm home again, rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Good evening, Miss Marianne.
Marion! Marion! Marion, dear, whose was he just talking to just... Wow, Professor Hill.
Mrs. Peru, at the top of the evening. Miss Marianne.
You and Marion come up and sit. I've got some jelly on the stove.
There's no jelly on the stove, Mama.
I'll put some on.
Shall we set, as your mother said?
Well, I...
You did ask me to call.
Did I? I didn't mean anything.
Now, Miss Marion, I'm not suggesting that your invitation inferred anything but academic enlightenment. The think system. I've been by to try to explain it a time or two, but there always seem to be people around.
Yes, Miss Squires and several of the ladies.
Good. Wouldn't want anybody beating my time. No, ma'am. Well, it's evidently not the convenient night. I'll see you at the sociable later.
Professor, is it true that you had 100... Oh, what I'm trying to say is...
Yes.
Is it true that you've developed a think system?
A think system? Oh, a think system. Oh, why, yes. It's really very simple. As simple as whistling. You don't need to know how to use your lips in whistling. You just stick a note here. Never come out clearly here. Just try this for yourself before you ask me questions.
I take your word.
Could we sit?
Are all music teachers as dense as I am?
All music teachers?
Have they all been as fascinating as I've been with the think system?
Well, some more, some less. One young lady had thought up the same system before I got to her town. She showed me a few refinements.
I see.
Have I said something wrong?
Don't let me keep you, Professor. I'm sure you have many more important things to do than explain the fig system to me.
I couldn't think of one.
And I must be very dull company for a man of your experience.
I'll say, where do you get an idea like that?
One hears rumors of traveling salesmen.
Now, Miss Marion, you mustn't believe everything you hear. After all, one hears rumors about librarians.
I'm sure you're referring to Uncle Matty.
Uncle Matt?
Mr. Madison, my father's best friend. No matter what they say, he left me an assured job so Mother Winthrop and I would have some security. Surely you do not believe.
Of course not. That's exactly what I'm saying. But why do you think people start those rumors?
Narrow-mindedness, jealousy. Jealousy, mostly, I guess.
Exactly. Jealousy mostly starts rumors about traveling salesmen. What have you heard?
Oh, nothing about you personally. Just generally.
Well, what have you heard generally?
Just that it goes to show that narrow-mindedness and jealousy can lead to... Oh, what I'm trying to say is... Take you, for instance. Your attentions to customers and, well, music teachers might be misinterpreted. Might they? I mean, honestly, mightn't they?
Why?
And so you say another salesman or somebody were jealous. They could be downright lies, couldn't they?
What good?
Rumors and things.
Why, of course.
And it just proves you can't believe everything you hear. I mean, if you just discuss things.
Miss Marion, I would be delighted to discuss anything in the world with you. But couldn't we do it sitting down? Do sit. Your knees bend and all.
We could sit on the porch steps.
Or we could sit on a large hollow log over the footbridge.
I couldn't think of it. I've never been on a footbridge with a man in my life.
Just to talk.
I have to get ready for the sociable.
Well, then meet me there in 15 minutes.
Please, I just can't. Maybe tomorrow.
My dear little librarian, pile up enough tomorrows and you'll find you've collected nothing but a lot of empty yesterdays. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd like to make today worth remembering.
Well, so would I.
Footbridge, 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Mama! What? I just told Professor Hill I meet him at the footbridge in 15 minutes.
Glory be and the saints be praised. It works.
What does?
I've been using the think system on you from the parlor.
Hey Craig, the uniforms have arrived. The kids are in them already. The people are going to be screaming for music if those kids show up at the social bowl.
Yeah.
Here's most of the dough. I got Tommy to collect it. He's got the kids together at least, pretending to hold some practice over at the lumber yard.
All right, Marsh, go get the rig.
I got it.
What time's the freight go?
9:40 from the junction.
It's not even 8:30 yet.
Look, you want to turtle wordle around here and get yourself caught in a bunny trap? Go ahead.
It'll be all right, Marsh. I'll meet you at the hotel in plenty of time. Miss Marion, you're late.
But you said 15 minutes.
No, I bet you were about, well, I'd say about 26 years late. Took you all this time to get to the footbridge with the fellow.
If you want to know the truth, it was almost longer.
Oh.
Halfway here, I noticed him back. I suppose I'm not the first to find it easier to think clearly when not under the spell of your salesmanship.
Now, Miss Marion, certainly you don't think I've been trying to sell you anything.
No, you've given me something. And that's why I decided to come.
I don't recall.
Oh, yes, you have. Something beautiful. And that's why I came. And I'm glad. Oh, please don't think I expect too much more. One can't expect a traveling salesman to stay put. There have been many ports of call, and there will be many more. But that's no reason for me not to be grateful for what you've left behind for me.
Marion,
There were bells on a hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all, till there was you. There were birds in the sky, but I never saw them winging. No, I never saw them at all, till there was you. And there was music, and there were wonderful roses. They tell me it's sweet, fragrant meadows of dawn and dew. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it at all, till there was you. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it at all, till there was you.
Craig.
excuse me, I'm expecting a cable from Hector Berlioz. This could be it. What now?
Who's the salesman here? It sounds like she's selling and you're buying.
Are you crazy? I didn't know I was going to be able to leave tonight. I had to keep her off balance, didn't I?
Well, she's so far off balance now, you can't tell her from a catboat in a hurricane.
Listen, Buster Brown, I've risen through the ranks on this skirmish. I'm not resigning without my commission.
Look, you can't just get out anywhere out here on the footbridge.
There's a wonderful place over at Madison Gardens. It's the footbridge looks like the old ladies' home. Now beat it, Marsh. Go get the rig. Never a peaceful moment in the music business. Now then, where were we?
You're about to tell me what I don't know about you?
Well, we don't have to get into that just now, do we?
No, or ever for that matter, Harold. The librarian hasn't felt like doing much research lately, but she did plenty when we first came here.
Oh. About what?
About Professor Harold Hill, Gary Conservatory of Music, Gold Middle Class of Op 5. Harold, there was no Gary Conservatory in Op 5.
Why, there's certainly...
Because the town wasn't even built till Op 6. I'll see you at the social.
How long have you known?
Since July 7th, 3 days after you came, I pulled this page out of the Indiana Journal. It was originally intended to be used against you. And now, I give it to you with my whole heart.
But if you knew, why didn't you? Why, you little... Well, 110 cornets played the air. Then I modestly took my place as the one and only bass, and I oom-pahd up and down the square.
Good night, my son. Good night, my love.
With 110 cornets right behind.
Our star is shining with brightest light.
There were horns of every shape and sweet dreams made your stairways happy.
Where 110 cornets played the air.
I wish I may and I wish I might. Now good night, my someone, good night.
Greg, this guy's crazy. He's going around town spilling everything.
I'll say I'm crazy. Missed my train, probably lost my job. But I got you now, Hill. You'd be in the clique right now if it hadn't been for that piano teacher. Told her all about you. What'd she do? Lily-gagged me till I couldn't get the shit. Dried up little man.
Get out of here or I'll kill you! You dirty mouth!
You big bully! You big blow-up! I'll stay in this town till you get yours up, sideways, and through! What? You never even knew the territory!
Here's your stuff, Greg. The rig's in the alley. Hurry up, let's go.
Lovely ladies, lovely. Now let's have a go at our Grecian herbs. 1 Grecian herb, 2 Grecian herbs. It's about to trickle.
Stop! Stop! Listen to this man.
You gullible green grass goats! Can't you get it through your head that you're being swindled out of your eye and teeth this minute? There is a burglar in the bedroom while you're fiddling in the parlor. I'm talking about Harold Hill, highwayman, road agent, pickpocket. Same thing. He's had his hand in your wallet, mister, misses in yours, and little miss over there. Ever since the day he came here, there's been more documented evidence than you'll ever have time to read. There isn't any band, there never has been a band, and there never will be a band. If you don't hunt this man down like a mad dog this instant, there won't be any Harold Hill either. He'll be on the next train out of town.
Now will you believe me?
Well, what are we waiting for?
I want my money back.
Money back? I want his hide.
After him, and when you find him, bring him to the schoolhouse. After him.
guardian. Where have you been?
Harold, I'm looking for Winthrop. He's run away. Oh, please go, Harold. They're even talking about tar and feathers.
I had to see you, Mary.
It's all right. Don't you know that? You don't owe me a word. Not a word. Now go, Harold, please.
Oh, Greg, he isn't anywhere down here. Let's try by the creek.
Winthrop!
Stop a minute here, son.
I'm not your son. Leave me go.
Not till I talk to you for a minute.
I won't listen. You won't tell the truth anyway.
I would too.
What not?
I would too. I'll tell you anything you want to know.
Can you lead a band?
No.
Are you a big liar?
Yes.
Are you a dirty round cook?
Yes.
Leave me go, you big liar!
What's the matter? You wanted the truth, didn't you? Now I'm bigger than you. You're going to sit here and take it all. So you might as well quit working. There's two things you're entitled to know. One, you're a great kid. I thought so from the start. That's why I wanted you in this band, so you quit moping around feeling sorry for yourself.
What band?
I always think you're a great kid.
What's the other thing I'm entitled to know?
Well, the other thing isn't any of your business, now that I think of it.
We should never come to River City.
No, you don't, Winthrop.
Sister, you believe him?
I believe everything he's ever said.
But he promised us.
I know what he promised us. And it all happened just like he said. The flags, the lights, the colors, and the symbols.
Where was all that?
In the way that every kid in this town walked around all summer and looked and acted. Especially you. And the parents too. Does Mama wish she'd never come to River City?
Well, you do, don't you?
No. Now go, Harold, please.
Go on, Professor. Hurry up.
I can't go with you.
Why not?
The first time in my life, I got my foot caught in a door. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. Oh, I never heard it at all. Till there was you.
Greg! Greg, they're coming! That way! That way!
Hurry up, Professor. That way. That way.
Which is why I interrupt the program at this point. Keep in mind the snake in our bosom would have been misapprehended by this time. And also remember, I, Mayor of River City, have done everything in my power to prevent this dire from happening. Fourscore.
What have you done to get our money back? I heard that the professor collected nearly $300 for uniforms just tonight.
And we haven't even seen no uniforms yet.
He's slippery, I told you.
I haven't seen any uniform or my kids either since just after supper.
Goodness. Fine situation here.
Fourscore. Now just a minute. Virtue has triumphed. The sword of retribution has cut down Professor Hill. And if there are those, so as I've heard, who are melting tar and collecting feathers, I will not say them nay.
Well, I should think there ought to be some of you who could forget our Iowa stubborn chip on the shoulder arrogance long enough to remember River City before Harold Hill arrived. Do you remember? Well, do you? And I should think there ought to be some of you who could be grateful for what he's brought to River City. And if so, I should think you'd want to admit it.
You are wasting a great deal of time here. If there is somebody in this hall who does not think this man Hill should be tarred and feathered, let them stand up. Eulalie, sit down. And the rest of you standing there like the coat of Shropshire sheep. Have you forgotten how you balked? Expensive uniforms, technical instruction books, and high-priced band instruments. And have you forgotten the clear understanding of warranty that your children would be taught to play in a band? Well, where's the band? Where is the band?
Think, kids, think.